Hey, I'm Scotty, and one of the most overlooked drawing skills is how to draw a mouth and lips. I'm going to show you how to draw a mouth in a really simple way, which is great for beginners or if you just love sketching people in a loose and minimal way. So before I draw some examples at different angles and different openings, I want to give you 6 really important fundamental rules when drawing a mouth. So number 1, this is based off the Loomis method. If you have a head like this, draw the shape of the head, and we have to divide the face into 3. So we've got the hairline here, and we've got the chin, there's the brow, and there's the bottom of the nose. So that's the brow here, bottom of the nose, and we have the eyes here. So there are 3 parts of the face. In this bottom third, between the bottom of the nose and the chin, is where the mouth goes. And where does it go there? So you go up 2/3 from the chin towards the nose, and then that's where the mouth is. So up 2/3 from the nose, that's where the mouth is right there. And if you find it hard finding 2/3, I would go about halfway between the nose, so halfway between the nose and the chin, and then just up a little bit. And that's roughly where it is. And rule number 2, how wide do you make the mouth? Well, let's draw another head, just roughly there. Brow is about here, and the nose is about here. The eyes, yep. So the fleshy part of the lips are mostly between the eyes. So if I get the corners of the eyes and I go down to about that same height as I had it over here, then that's where the most of that fleshy part of the lip is. The corners of the mouth, they depend what sort of expression you have. So they're a bit wider than the fleshy part. If you smile, it can go right out to the edges of the eyes, but if you have an expressionless face, it just comes in a bit more towards the nose. And I've got my red Posca pen here to highlight that. Goes across there, and we have 3rd here. So that's the first 2 rules covered. They're the most important ones. Number 3 is about the curve of the lips. Now we don't just want to draw a straight line like I've done in this example here. In most cases we don't want to draw a straight line. It's a really small sketch. If you want to get a nice curve to your lips, I recommend thinking about these 3 shapes. So we'll have, this is on the top lip. On the bottom lip we have 2 circles like this. I don't know how you can remember that. Maybe it's like 2 eyes with an angry eyebrow. And then we start here, and then we go down and around and in between them, and then around the other side. Trying to exaggerate them slightly so you can see. And then there's the corners of the mouth. So split between the lip is a really important line to get a little bit of a curve. And then the bottom sort of straightens out there and goes back up. The top lip has a little bend in it there before it goes back down. Now related to this and adding curves, we need to remember that the lips aren't on a straight plane when you're drawing them at an angle. We're not drawing them like this on a straight, we're actually drawing them on a curved surface. So if I draw the width of the mouth, that center point in the mouth here, if your face is turned slightly, it's going to be a bit further to the left here. We can kind of exaggerate that to make it seem like it's on a curved surface. And we can adjust these lines at the bottom. This side would look slightly bigger. That's a little bit rough. So you try and shift this center point here around the face. Okay, so the last 2 rules are more about style and how you can sketch to make them look better when you're in context of the whole face. The main lines that I focus on is the split between the lip. So I'll do that again, what I've been doing. And I don't outline the whole lips. So that's what this rule's about. Even though I've done them here, that's to show what the shapes are. But usually when I'm sketching them quickly, I'll do that middle line. I'll do a little hint of the shadow under the lip here. I might just leave it like that. But if you'd like to add a bit more, especially if you have a female or bigger lips, you can add a tiny bit of a line there too. Those 3 lines are the main lines. So rule number 6, you might have heard this before, but don't draw all the teeth individually. Just leave a white space where all the teeth are. So if I was drawing the teeth, and I will just outline the lips here just so you can see what I'm drawing. Okay, if you have the lips like this, so we don't want to do that. No drawing all the teeth, and I'll give you some good examples here of how to draw without drawing all the teeth. So now I'm going to go through some great examples with references of how to draw lips really simply. So we'll start out with some straight on lips here. I'll just draw the nose in quickly. And so the bottom of his chin might be here. So when we're sketching, we usually already have all that structure there for us. So if I go up to halfway, just up a little bit, I can draw 2 dots just past the nose here is where those corners of the mouth are, just outside the edges there. And then we can draw that curve. So it's going up, and then it's going down a bit, and then back up, and then to here. It's the main curve that I've got there. Now we've got that shadow. It's got quite a nice shadow here. You could leave it like that, or you could add a little bit more. You could add a top little line there, facial hair, so just to help add the context. And then that top lip would be in shadow. Okay, so that's an expressionless straight-on view. Now let's go to a lady here who's got a bit more of a smile. So let's draw the nose. Okay, that's her chin. So I'm comparing now to the nose, how wide those corners of the mouth are. I always recommend doing 2 dots if you're unsure. So I'm going up halfway, a little bit higher, and then across, and I can see the angle between the nose and the corner of the mouth there. Even with those 2 points, you can look at that face there and say, oh, is that a smile? I think it is. Because she's stretched her lips out, it's more of a bend here. It doesn't have that obvious curve to it. I'll put in a little line here, a line there, little dimples here. And with fuller lips like this, I would exaggerate some of the curves. If I draw the nose in here, it's easier if I find the bottom of the nose. So draw the corners of the mouth like that. But then this time I'm really concentrating on making the curves really exaggerated. And again up here. Okay, so now we have 3/4 view. So we'll start again. We'll draw the nose for context. Some simple curves here. And the chin is about here. Okay, so we go up about halfway, and then we'll go a tiny bit up. We can see just about the width of the nose, just a little bit past. Now we curve, this one curves up a bit, and then making sure that this side of the mouth is slightly longer than this side because it's wrapping around the face. And then I just add the bottom here. Okay, that's a very simple way to draw the lips. Okay, so now we've got a face where the lips are slightly open and you can see a bit of teeth. So I draw the nose. So now I'm aiming for that halfway point that's just a little bit higher. So when the mouth is closed, I'm aiming at that line, the split between the lips. But when the mouth is open, I still aim at that open black space between the lips. Still draw the top edge of that lip, and then we'll leave a gap for where the teeth are, and we'll draw the bottom lip there, and then add a bit of black, and we can see the teeth. Edge of that bottom lip, and a little bit at the top. This one's a bit tricky because of the angle of the face. I haven't got that whole head to put it in context, but that's how I would draw the lips. And one more just for fun. This is a very open mouth, so it's a bit more tricky to sketch. But if I won't draw the nose in this one yet, I'll just draw the lips straight out. So I go across like this. This is the top part of the lip, just above the teeth there. So I'm not drawing the lips, just that bottom edge underneath the lip. The teeth come in like this, and then the bottom space. So I'm focusing on the gap between the lips. There we go. So you can see how much I focus. I'm not doing the lips, I'm doing that space between the lips. A little line for that top lip there. Might draw a bit here to show the way it turns, and then a tiny bit under there. And that's almost all I would draw for the mouth. Now I can attempt to draw the rest of the face here out of context without anything else. But the chin goes something like that. Bottom of the nose around. So no teeth there, just the white. And the last two have got a side-on view. If the nose came out like this, that's the nostril. Okay, if the nose is like that, you can see here the lips on the side, they curve out this way, and then they go back down. And then we can draw that split between the lip. So sometimes I have to draw the silhouette here to start it off, but still the most important line I'm looking for is this split. And I look down at the side of the nose where it comes to, bottom edge. So you might need to outline that bit, but I wouldn't outline this part of the lip. Straight down the chin goes and then curves. Okay, you could draw a tiny bit and perhaps a bit there, but that's about it. And then an open mouth, same as with the last one. These are a bit trickier. I'll just start with the top lip. You can just draw that line just above the teeth there. And you have your nose up here, the teeth, just a big shape. And then this dark part there, and it goes into this section here. So what's that silhouette? It goes like this, some hair here. Probably would be drawing this a lot smaller. That's one of the hardest ones there. You can see I focused on that line there and just outlining where the teeth go, making sure that silhouette is right. With the side-on view, you can see it curves out here and then curves back in this way to the split. So now I'm going to add a bit of watercolor to these sketches to show you how I add watercolor to the different surfaces. So I've got my burnt sienna right here. It's really watered down. A light wash over this whole section here, and I'll go around each one and then I'll let them dry. For this one I have burnt umber. Now, we'll keep the teeth white, of course. And then a huge smiley face. I'm not thinking about what colour the lips are yet. I'll wait for the paint to dry. Okay, so now these are dry, I'm going to add just a little bit of this rose colour, mostly in the middle of the lips here. It's very, very subtle. So this is kind of like just laying out where the colours are. I'm not doing lighting just yet. I can add a bit more shadow. So sometimes I use a darker purple. This time, because it's very isolated, I'm just going to use a darker burnt sienna. Under the nose like this, and you might add a bit of a shadow on the side there. The top lip has to be in shadow, a little bit under the bottom lip there. These are just very basic shadows. And you can see that already it's given it a bit of interest and life, this one. I'll just light them all the same. So drawing the mouth and the lips are often overlooked, so let me know if you've struggled in the past with drawing them and if this tutorial has helped you in any way. Thank you to all my supporters on Patreon, especially Jay who suggested this video. I'll put the full version of this video and all the references up there on Patreon for you guys. But I also have many other tutorials here, so check them out below. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.